Hi, everyone. Are you tired of your students sharing the answers to questions from class period to class period? Do you wish our assignments were a little less wordy? Because, your students constantly tell you they don't like to read. And would you like to see how you can add more coding assignments to our course? And you could do all of these things in under 5 minutes. Well, welcome to today's video. 5-minute fixes, smarter CS assignments using AI. And it doesn't matter if you're going to use ChatGPT or another form of AI, but let's just talk about that right there. If we ask ChatGPT to make up an assignment for us, especially a computer science assignment, it'll make a basic assignment, okay? But what we are looking for is something that is a little more in depth. We need content that can teach high school students. So we understand when a lot of you say to us, hey, your content, it's a little too wordy. Okay. Is there a way to make it less wordy? All right. Or how about, is there a way to change up the questions in an assignment so that they're not the same for each class period? Well, Codio will allow us to adapt our platform using AI in a number of different ways. Codio has AI built into it. So I'll show you in this video how by using one click of a button, you can regenerate a question so that the content is the same, but the question looks different. Therefore, students can't share answers from class period to class period. I'll also show you how to make our assignments less wordy. We'll just tell ChatGPT, can you redo this assignment? Because, hey, our students don't like to read. Right? The whole point of this is that we give you strong assignments to start with. We give you strong lesson plans. And the reason we do that is so that you can adapt them to fit the needs of your students. So let's jump right in so I can show you how to do these 5-minute fixes. So the first thing you'll see on the left-hand side of your course is an Edit Assignment tab. And when you click on Edit Assignments, it's going to ask you for a password to unlock. It's going to ask you to watch a training. Well, welcome to the training, right? We do this because we don't want teachers to be able to go into the course and accidentally delete things. So let me share the password right now with you, which will give you the ability to edit the assignments and adapt them. Okay. The password is edit UTeach, all one word with a capital U and a capital T. Okay. That will give you access to being able to adapt our assignments. So let me click on unlock. So now you have access to the edit assignment section of Codio. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is you will not directly edit any of our assignments, okay? What you're going to do is duplicate an assignment and then edit the duplicated assignment. The reason we tell you to do that is because periodically, not very often, but a couple times during the year, we might update our course because a link may be broken, or somebody might find a link that goes to an outdated article. Now, when we update an assignment, it overrides any changes that you will make. So that's why I'm telling you first duplicate the assignment, all right, and edit or adapt that duplicated assignment. That way, whatever we do will have no impact on what you do. So let me go to assignment 1.3, algorithmic components, and let me click the duplicate button right here. And I'm going to call this AI adapted 1.3. All right, I'm just naming it that for me so that I know what I'm working on. And here it is, AI adapted 1.3. So let me click on the assignment, and it's going to open up the assignment in edit mode. Okay, so the reason I chose this particular assignment, you can see it's a little bit wordy here, and we want to get rid of all this wordiness because your students are going to tell you they don't like to read. Now, I'm also not going to just sit here and tell you that, hey, they have to read. I understand students, when they say they don't like to read, it doesn't mean they don't like to read, okay? All they do is read TikTok, read Instagram, and read their feeds. What it means is they don't like the way the words are presented to them, okay? So having it a more condensed version, a more chunked version, this is where AI is going to come in and it's going to make our lives real easy. So let me very quickly show you how to make this less wordy using AI. Now, most teachers like to use ChatGPT, but the UTeach Institute is part of the University of Texas at Austin, and we use the Microsoft version of ChatGPT, and that is Copilot. Okay, so whatever I'm typing into Copilot here, you could just type it into ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, whatever the AI you like to use. Okay, so 5 minutes. Let me show you how to make this less wordy. So the first thing you'll do is you'll see there's an edit button up here in the top right-hand corner. When I click on the edit button, it's going to split the screen in half. Okay. And I like that. That is right over here, split view. Okay. If I turn this toggle on and off, it'll show me split view. Now, what is split view? On the left-hand side of the screen is all the text, okay? And this is written in a language called Markdown. Markdown is simply just a normal text-based language. And then you have a toolbar up here that allows you to make your fonts and text look different, okay? So we're really not concerned with learning the Markdown language because Copilot, ChatGPT, it'll copy and paste your stuff in this Markdown language, which makes it even easier for us. So let's make this particular assignment less wordy. Okay, so I like to do this in a couple of steps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight probably like a half of the stuff that I have on the left side of the page. All right, and I'm going to come all the way down to iteration, and I'm going to copy this out, cut it out of there, come into my AI over here, and I'm going to say, can you take the following content and make it less wordy because my students do not like to read? So I'm going to need a more condensed version to put back into the assignment. I'm then going to add a colon and then just paste in all my stuff and hit enter. All right. And that's what the AI is going to do. Okay, and you could see it's taking what was pretty wordy, making it not very wordy. All right, so I'm going to just hit the copy button right here, come back in, and paste it right back into my Codio assignment. All right, and then I'm going to go and do it for the rest of the assignment, the same thing, cut out the second half of the assignment, ask it to do the same thing. Hey, can you make a more condensed version of the following content? Because my students are telling me they don't like to read. So I need to have a more condensed version to use. Hit that colon, paste in the rest of the content. All right, and there you go. Right now, I'm going to copy this when we're all done and paste it right back into my assignment. Copy, paste. And now if we come over here on the right-hand side of the screen, we have a completely awesome, fun, and engaging assignment, which is way less wordy. All right. I didn't have to do anything in the Markdown language. It automatically did it for me. So here you can see we have a way less wordy version of the assignment that we had before. Okay. It still included all the tasks I want the kids to do. Everything still looks really good. All right. So when you get done, you're going to hit the green publish button right over here. Okay. And then eventually it'll switch from processing to successful. You're done. You just made one of the pages in our assignment less wordy because your students don't like to read. And it took way less than 5 minutes. All right, so let's move on. Now, this algorithm page over here is, yeah, this one is pretty wordy. Okay. So maybe we want to make this one less wordy. All right, so let's first see, maybe we can get all these words one shot, because a lot of times the AI will not let you paste in over a certain number of characters. That's why I like to do it in two chunks. But let's see if we can do it in one big chunk. So let's take out the content for this page, go to our AI. Can you make this more condensed because my students tell me they don't like to read? All right, but let's not lose the meaning of all this content. We want to keep that meaning, but make it way less wordy and easier for kids to comprehend. Add that colon in, paste in all the stuff. There you go. All right, so for this one, we were able to get it all in one step. Okay, it looks like it's way less wordy than the original version. So let's just copy this, go right back in here, hit paste. And yeah, look at that. That is a way less wordy version. Your students will probably be much happier with that. All right, so let's hit publish and then wait for that to switch to successful, and then we can close this box. Nothing is real for your students unless you hit the publish button. All right, it doesn't exist in the real world unless you hit publish. You're just working on it behind the green curtain. All right, so what I would like to do next is go into an assignment and show you how you can change the questions, regenerate them very quickly so your students can't share answers to questions from class period to class period. All right, so I'm going to open up our encryption assignment over here because our encryption assignment has a lot of questions in it, and Codio has built-in AI. It'll allow you to take any question and regenerate it, translate it into a different language, make it easier for the students, make it more difficult. So let me show you how you can do that. So I opened up our encryption assignment here because I know on the second page here, we have a lot of questions, okay? And this is what we're talking about. We don't want your students to be able to share the answers to these questions with the following period. So let's click on the edit button. And anytime you see one of these blue boxes over here, that is an assessment question. All right. And there's two ways to view assessment questions. The easiest is just click on it. Okay. So you see here, when I click on this, we have a fill in the blank question. If I click on execution, it says the plain text for this is, and then it says offset by 1. Okay. So if I want to regenerate this question so that I can use it in a different class period without the kids being able to share the answer, all I do is come down here. There's a blue regenerate button, and I click regenerate. Now, I have a prompt box right here. All right. So I can simply say, I would like to just regenerate this question so that students can share the answer from class period to class period. So give me a different question, but the same amount of rigor. And just hit regenerate. Okay, and right down over here, it's going to regenerate another question. And then all I have to do is click the approve button. And there you go. It says decrypt the following Caesar cipher message. Here's the new question. And I just have to hit save. So this is how easy it is to change up the question so the students can't share the answers from class period to class period. Watch me do it. Here we go. There you go. Hit regenerate. I don't even have to say anything. I can just click the regenerate button and it's just going to regenerate the same question, same type of question. I hit approve, I hit save, and there it is. So let me go through all of them, regenerate, regenerate. After it gets done, I'll hit approve and save, regenerate. So you can see how we can redo all these questions in not only 5 minutes, but way less than 5 minutes. Okay, let's do that last one here, regenerate. Now, the prompt box is excellent if you want to adapt these questions in other ways. Like I said, there's so many different things we could do here. For example, let me regenerate this last one. Can you please write the following question in Spanish? And actually, can you make it slightly less rigorous as well? Now I hit regenerate. And this last one will be in Spanish. So we're talking about now you being able to make up completely different assessment questions in the native language of whatever your students are speaking. It could be, we can switch this to Farsi if we really wanted to. All right. So I now have redone the assessment questions. I'm going to publish them so that they're, it's out there in the real world that I updated it. And there you go. Less than 5 minutes, we were able to change the assessment questions in an assignment so that they don't match the next period. All right. And all you would do is assign this version of the assignment for the class period and the original version of the assignment to the other class period. So those were two of the three things I wanted to touch on in this video. Now I just wanted to show you how easy it is and quickly you can add coding assignments if you feel like your students need additional practice with coding. Okay, so let's go back to our dashboard and go to our Python bootcamp. All right, so if I go to the Python bootcamp, we intentionally put an assignment in the Python bootcamp called Python IDE for additional practice. And this assignment is exactly what it sounds like. It is our Python IDE, and you will be able to use AI to create an assignment. Not only just use AI to make up questions, assessment questions, but let me show you what I like to call the Codio built-in magic wand feature. So I'm going to click the edit button. And if you'll notice up here, in this toolbar, which you could pretty much ignore, right? Because the AI will automatically do everything in that markdown language I was just telling you about. But at the very end, it says generate content icon. It looks like a magic wand. And let me tell you something, it is the Harry Potter of icons, right? All I do is click generate content. And there is that AI prompt box that we saw in our assessment questions that we can use to actually make up an assignment. So now I can just say into my prompt box, my students are really struggling with user input and variables. Can you create a Python assignment that a seventh grade beginning Python programming student would be able to complete? And let's have it be something fun and engaging that they would really like to program. All right, I hit the generate button, and let's just see what the AI comes back with, because remember, we can always regenerate and talk to the AI. Okay, so it comes back with an assignment here, and I'm just going to hit approve so I can see what it looks like in here. So it says Python input and variables, create your own adventure. All right. And look at that. It actually made up an entire additional assignment. And right. And we can even, this is way too wordy, right? I can take this assignment that we just made, cut it, and then go back to my AI. Can you make a less wordy version of this assignment? My students hate to read. All right. So I need something that still hits all the points of this, but less wordy, more condensed. Put in my colon, paste everything after it, and there you go. So I can use Codio's built-in AI, which I don't want to ruin the surprise. They work with Claude and Anthropic, okay? And use it right here, okay? So this is going to be great. After it gets done writing all the content for me, I can literally just copy and paste it right into our Codio assignment. All right, copy, come back over here, paste it back in. So there you go. All right, we got a more condensed version of the following assignment. I hit publish. There you go. So the reason I'm showing you this is not only to create additional assignments for your students to practice with and show you that you can do this in 5 minutes or less, all right, but it's also a way for you to use these tools when you're going to be absent, right? How many times do you wake up, the kids are sick, at the last minute you have to come up with an assignment? You can just take our blank Python IDE, our blank Scratch IDE, our blank Java IDE for CSA, and just use the magic wand feature in Codio to generate an assignment. Okay. So I just wanted to touch on these three things that I always get feedback from teachers. All right. And I just wanted to specifically show you that we have AI now. Okay. And AI can tailor our awesome content and our awesome lesson plans to fit your students' needs. Okay. Individualized education plans going forward are not just going to be for your students with special needs. Every student's going to have an individualized education plan because AI is going to let us customize it to each student. So I really hope you found this helpful. And as always, please reach out to me if you have any other questions.